Okay, before we jump into the episode, I'm going to do a quick check here. Okay, yes, Kelly is back. Whew! The Wicked Stepbrother Part 2 better be an outlier in Kelly absent episodes. Oh, dang it! Welcome to a student council meeting where Jesse, as always, is the president. Last bit of business, the cheerleaders need $600 for new uniforms. Now, where have we heard that number before?
We're looking at least $600.
Oh, right! The very last episode!
How hard can it be to raise $600?
Well, you could run an underground raffle layered with false fire alarms, false math solutions, and a winner committed to donating to the cheerleader uniform cause. Oh, right. Belding's there. Okay, people, we need less exploitative ideas.
How about a date auction? I bet a lot of girls would bid on Zack and Slater.
Yeah, we could auction off dates to the spring dance.
Hey,
yeah.
Auctioning dates is kind of a fun idea. Oh, right. Jesse's there.
Auctioning off dates is sexist flesh peddling and should be strictly forbidden.
Jesse's learned a lot since discovering that she's related to slave traders. The Spano name will no longer be associated with auctioning off humans. Now, some introductions are necessary. First, to Jesse's right is Brian, an intellectual guy who supports school pride. To Jesse's left is Wendy, a Zack Morris superfan.
Well, let's give them $200 and make them wear bikinis.
Good one, Zack.
Yeah, it was. Even Serial Killer liked it. Our last introduction, these are Kelly's hands. They put in a lot of work early on, but then don't. I'm afraid we'll revisit something like this later on. Guess what, Jesse? We're peddling flesh. I mean, almost everyone is on board with the idea, especially Lisa, who has taken a liking to Brian.
Quit beefing, woman. I'm single and I'm after a prime hunk.
So clearly Eric is already gone, and it's been, what, a single episode since declaring that he'd stick around a while? Lisa has no time to be brokenhearted. And if this conversation is happening right after that student council meeting, why is Serial Killer in different clothes? How could he have possibly changed that fast? It's impossible. Unless he has a twin. Think about it. One twin can be in one place and the other twin can be off doing the murders. I noted in the last video that there are theories that we never see guest stars again because Zack kills them. I also get comments from time to time about characters killing themselves, a joke alluding to the Zack Morris' Trash series. But what if it's our serial killer twins? Sitting in the shadows, analyzing Zack's every move, eliminating every person who tries to take the spotlight off our favorite six. I'm going to keep my eye on you.
Hey, I bet I bring in more cash than you at the auction.
All right, this is a fun show for kids with a wacky premise. Screech learns the painful way that the ever-cute Claudia would pay $50 to not win him at the auction. Slater learns that Jesse is very against the whole thing.
Go ahead, sell your muscles, but I'm not going to bid on them.
That sounds like permission to participate. At the max, Screech continues to be comedy gold. Unfazed by Kelly's oddly frozen body in the background there, Lisa makes a move on Brian.
What are you reading?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Oh, a football book.
No, the Hunchback didn't make the team. This is a classic.
Ever read Confessions of a Mall Queen? It's a classic too.
No, it's not. That book doesn't even exist. There's Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen and Confessions of a Shopaholic, but those won't be released until several years later. And come on, Lisa, this guy's kind of a tool.
Shucks, I'm afraid I missed that one.
Oh, don't worry. I can lend you my copy.
This whole exchange is great, as it wonderfully shows how different these two characters are.
Yeah, well, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to a French lecture.
Well, as they say in France, bye-bye, baby.
Brian hates all of this, and Zack tries to secure getting bought by Lydia by whipping out that old Morris charm. So let's see here. Kelly was at school, changed and went to work, and then changed and went back to school to hear Jesse's threats against anyone bidding on Slater. And how do we know that Jesse is just so serious? Because she keeps slamming lockers.
Go ahead, sell your muscles, but I'm not gonna bid on them. If any one of you sweeties dare bid on my Slater, I'll hunt you down in the streets like a rabid dog. But if either of you bid on Slater, you're dead. You got me?
Same, ladies. Same. So let's peddle some flesh! First up is Herbert Hodus, who Mr. Belding optimistically starts at $5, but ultimately gets sold for 15 cents to Maris Clement. 2 notes about Maris Clement. First, look at this power move. Herbert reaches for her hand and she's like, "Nuh-uh, I bought you so I'll take the top hand position." Second, the character Maris Clement is named after a friend of the writer, real-life actress Maris Clement, who will later appear in the show as Ms. Culpepper. Brian is up next, and he sparks a bit of a bidding war.
$25.
30. You top that and I'll tell everyone in school about your training bra.
Dang, Lisa. She's basically saying back off or I'll tell everyone that ruffled shirt is hiding the fact that you haven't developed boobs yet. Having mastered blackmail from her old crush, Lisa manipulates her way into buying a new crush. And she pays by giving away her credit card? Slater's next and... This tepid response due to Jesse's machinations looks a lot like the Miss Bayside pageant when Zack spread the rumor of Slater beating up Screech. Your friends suck, man. But not Kelly. She sees how embarrassed Slater is and buys him for $10.
Hey, she bid fair and square. I guess I have a date for the dance and you don't.
In retaliation, Jesse blindly bids $25 for the next guy.
Screech, are you crazy? Me go out with Screech? Ah!
We'll grow to love each other.
So far, we've got some pretty surprising results. And how does our blonde Tom Cruise fare? Well, it's a pretty intense round of bidding that even Screech gets swept up in.
I bid $75.
Is anybody else getting Summer Wheatley vibes from Lydia? I swear she would fit right in Napoleon Dynamite. Lydia's $75 bid nearly wins the day. Until...
$100.
Dang, Wendy! That's more than all the other guys combined. Why not just buy all the new cheerleader uniforms? Zack got stuck with a bigger girl. How do we think this is going to play out? I'm going to throw things over to SBTB Anniversary to start off this next part, as this deleted scene will clarify something stupid in a future scene. It's later that day and Jesse is emotionally damaged at Kelly stealing Slater from her. Kelly shuts Jesse up and then Jesse shuts Screech up. Swapping bread spit? Shut up, Dustin Diamond! At another table, Brian gets very blunt in pointing out he and Lisa's incompatibilities.
I don't care about fashion, and you'd be bored reading Catcher in the Rye.
No, I wouldn't. I love baseball.
What is with this girl and sports? Brian, what is the book about?
Alienation.
Oh, I loved Alienation. It was my favorite TV show.
Oof, this chick. Wendy tries to steal Zack for lunch, but wouldn't you know it, that old fake injury from track is flaring back up and Zack needs to leave. We'll see how this prayer plays out. And because Lisa is a glutton for punishment, she asks Slater what he thinks about her. The real her.
You're pretty, you're fun at parties, and you never have bad breath.
This is not sufficient.
Boy, this is definitely not my day with women.
I'm going to ask you to shut all the way up right here because Kelly paid her life savings to go out with you. Good news! The date auction totally worked, and the new cheerleader uniforms have been ordered. Did you hear that, Zack? Zack, are you awake? And speaking of updating outfits, Lisa humble brags about finishing Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Now, I don't know how many days it's been since the date auction, but Lisa read classic, dense Russian literature in that time. 684 pages, over 30 hours as an audiobook. Maybe we aren't giving her enough credit. Brian suggests they read in the library together.
I hope I'm dressed right. I mean, the library might be chilly.
You can borrow my sweater.
Good one, Brainiac. What's she gonna do? Wear it over her shoulder pads? Wendy gives Zack a shot at honesty, but he rambles about his therapy from yesterday and how he can't go to the dance, and Wendy's all, yeah, I called your house and you were out surfing. But hey, that explains why Zack has been so sleepy today.
No, Wendy.
Because I don't look like Lydia or Kelly or Elle McPherson. I've heard the I'm sick excuses before, but I thought you were different. I'll have more fun going to the dance by myself. At least I'll be with someone who's honest.
Zack Morris is trash.
Oh man, I hate new Lisa.
Well, I've always loved philosophy. For example, what is art? Are we art? Is art art?
Kelly hates this too and pulls Lisa aside to call her out on selling out.
Well, yeah, but this phony has a boyfriend. The old Lisa didn't.
This hits home, as I recall tweaking my teenage personality to find my social fit.
Well, I guess this is growing up.
Across the max, Jesse's got a screech problem.
And instead of candy, he brings leftovers from home.
And thanks to that deleted scene, we know why. You share food.
Mom's meatloaf. Enjoy.
Shut up, Dustin Diamond.
Oh, he's such a geek.
Jessie can't believe she's stuck with Screech, but Zack tells her to ignore his appearance and stop being so stuck up. Screech is a great guy. Who is Zack to be giving this advice?
Wendy's not exactly your type, but you're going with her.
Jessie will do it thanks to Zack's sterling example. I know that I'm trash. I feel like I should have covered something by now. It's time to play Spot That Party of 5 Heartthrob Scott Wolf. In this episode, he's just getting in his hours at the max. And what's that? It's time to play Spot That Other Guy from Starship Troopers, Casper Van Dien. Casper's actually got two fun stories going on in this episode. First off, we see him getting food at the counter. But why isn't he being served by Kelly the waitress? Well, from our deleted scene, we see that he was served by Kelly, but his food got co-opted for jokes, so he had to get up and reorder. Good for you, man. You got some bonding time with Robert and a fresh order of food. Casper's second storyline is a little more nuanced. I saw him at the date auction and wondered why he wouldn't be one of the guys having his self-worth monetarily determined by his peers. Then I saw his proximity to Claudia. I mean, his arm is straight up around her shoulders here. There's a deeper reason Claudia so violently denied Screech's advances and why she is conspicuously absent in the Zack Morris fever bidding. Though I do find it funny that Claudia claps at Zack's introduction and Casper gives her a little jealous bump. I mean, they were attending that dance together no matter what. Again, good for you, man. Claudia is lovely. She's no Sarah Carter, but then again, who is? The dance is the final scene and all of our plot lines get wrapped up. There is some fantastic directing and blocking going on here as the scene moves flawlessly from one vignette to another, with actors basically being used as a transition piece to the next situation. It gives the sense of unity to the various stories while also feeling like a crowded school dance. Now, I said flawlessly, but there is one transition where the camera is bumped. You can discern a slight vibration when going from Jesse and Slater to Brian and Lisa. Now, regarding the dance, I can't help but smile seeing Jesse fully embrace being Screech's date. Slater is lovesick and miserable, and Screech shows his true friend loyalty by getting the two back together. And is it just me, or does it look like Slater goes in for a reconciliatory kiss and gets rebuffed? Screech then gets rewarded with a non-repulsed Lisa. What? Where did Brian go? That's right, Lisa ditched him. Why? Maybe it's because he's an a-hole.
You know, Lisa, I used to tell people they could see the sunset if they looked through your ears.
Or maybe it's because of his cancer-inducing laugh. Or maybe because he's just straight up toxic and demands that Lisa get new friends. You have to really suck for Lisa to think that Screech is better than you. And how about these two stud muffins? Well, Maris Clement thought 15 cents for Herbert was not worth the date, and Zack is incapable of employing the least amount of tact.
When they need their algebra done, they always come back.
It's unclear what changes for Zack by the end of the dance, but he gets a last dance in with Wendy and invites her to the Max for a real makeup date. Mr. Belding better be careful in how he looks at Kelly. I would have no problem painstakingly orchestrating his, let's say, early retirement. Speaking of Kelly, it's time for the big reveal of the new cheerleading uniform, which is not so much of a big reveal since, we've already seen this uniform this season. What, do we have another continuity problem where Check Your Mate was produced 6 episodes after this episode but aired before it to spoil the big reveal?
Come on!
Or is the big reveal the fact that the new uniforms don't come with bloomers? You know, the typically color-coordinated, thicker materialed undergarment that makes kicks, spins, and jumps only slightly less revealing? 'Cause Kelly definitely isn't wearing bloomers for this cheer, and it is head-scratchingly obvious. Not that serial killer freaking minds. Slater also enjoys the cheer, but in a much more innocent, adorable manner. What is he doing? Brian Watkins was played by Patrick Dancy, an actor who likely knew our Saved by the Bellers, as he was in Guys Next Door, another TNBC show. In fact, the cast from the shows played baseball from time to time. If you don't know what Guys Next Door is, imagine corporate America creating a boy band to rival the New Kids on the Block. And then give this new band a TV show. And then make it a sketch comedy show.
Give me cancer now, guy!
I forced myself to watch the pilot, and it's bad. A few things of note. 1, Tiffany Amber Thiessen's then boyfriend, Eddie Garcia, was a band member, and he will show up in a future Saved by the Bell episode. 2, episodes featured songs and music videos. The first song in the pilot oddly uses the same guitar riff from Ball and Jack that young MC made famous in Bust a Move.
In the city where the ladies are pretty, where the nights are hot if you don't get caught.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Ugh. I will note as a third thing that the last song in the episode was at least catchy. I have no doubt that I'll cover more of Guys Next Door when Eddie Garcia is an SBTV guest star, but let's get back to Patrick Dancy. Patrick had some guest spots in Married with Children, Living Single, and 5 episodes as Ted in Family Matters. Notably, Patrick also had a role in NYPD Blue. Get this, he played a rapper with beef with another rapper because the other rapper found out Patrick's character had been in a boy band and called him out as a fake gangster. That hits a little close to home. Now, despite being assigned to the case, Mark Paul never shared the screen with Patrick outside of witnessing Patrick getting mowed down during a drive-by. Patrick has noted that acting gigs got harder to come by with the explosion of reality TV, so he transitioned into the business world, where he has served in leadership at Simplify Inc. for nearly 20 years. He is also the creator of Legend Footwear. Now, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but the Legend name bears the initials of G&D, or Guys Next Door. And now what about the actress who played Wendy? Well, I've got plans for her in the next special.
It's not good to be afraid of your girlfriend.